Whoa! I never thought about that!
Let's talk about that super strange, totally human feeling, déjà vu. You know the one. It's that bizarre split-second moment where you feel this intense familiarity with something new. Well, today we're going to figure out the science behind it. So picture this. You're meeting friends at a new coffee shop. You walk through the door, and then, bam! It just hits you. You feel like you have lived this exact moment in this exact place before. But your logical brain is just screaming, nope, never been here in my life. So what is that? What's going on? Is it just a simple crossed wire in your brain, kind of like a momentary processing error? Or is it something way more mysterious? A peek into a past life, maybe? A premonition? Let's see what the science actually says. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we first need to get on the same page and define what we're actually talking about here. The term itself, déjà vu, it's French, and it literally translates to already seen. And honestly, that's the absolute perfect description, isn't it? It's this overwhelming but super brief sense that a totally new experience has already happened to you. And if you felt it, you are in very, very good company. A whopping 60 to 80% of people say they've experienced it. And what's really interesting is that it seems to be most common when we're younger, in kids, teenagers, and young adults. As we get older, it apparently happens less and less. Let's really pin down that feeling, though. It's not just some vague idea of, this seems familiar. No, it's this eerie, deep conviction that you have lived this specific moment. The sounds, the sights, everything. But here's the kicker. You can't place it. You have no real memory to back it up. And then, poof, it's gone in just a couple of seconds.
So, what in the world is going on inside our heads when this happens? To figure that out, we need to take a little peek inside the brain's internal filing system.
Okay, think of your brain as having two really important departments that have to work together. First, you've got the memory system. This is like a giant library, just storing everything that's ever happened to you. And then you have the recognition system, which is kind of like the librarian at the front desk who immediately says, hey, I know this. You've seen this one before. Now, here's where the mix-up happens. During déjà vu, your recognition system, that librarian, basically just jumps the gun. It shouts, this is familiar, before your memory system has even had a chance to check the shelves and confirm if it's actually a new event. And that creates this moment of total confusion. Now, scientists have a couple of fantastic theories to explain this little moment of confusion. And it's not about magic or time travel. It's all about these tiny, really fascinating glitches in our neural wiring. So the first one is called the brain glitch theory. Imagine all the information coming from your eyes and ears is traveling along two different paths to get processed. Normally, those signals arrive at the exact same time. But every once in a while, one signal gets delayed by just a tiny fraction of a second, like a millisecond. So your brain ends up processing the exact same moment twice, back to back, creating this weird illusion that you've already experienced it. Then there's the memory shortcut theory. So with this one, you walk into a new room, but maybe the pattern on the wallpaper or the smell of coffee is subconsciously similar to something from way back in your past, a place you don't even consciously remember. Your brain recognizes that one little familiar piece, but since it can't find the whole memory file, it just flags the entire new scene as familiar. Now look, this isn't just guesswork. Scientists have been cleverly chipping away at this mystery for a while, trying to basically catch déjà vu in the act.
They use a few key methods to study it. They use brain scans, which show a flurry of activity in the temporal lobe, that's the brain's memory hub, right when it's happening. They've also learned a ton from epilepsy research because intense déjà vu can sometimes happen right before a seizure, which links it directly to electrical activity in those memory circuits. And get this, they've even used virtual reality to trigger it, creating brand new digital spaces that have layouts similar to places people have seen before. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so we've talked about glitches and electrical signals. Let's bring this all back to what it actually means for you and your everyday life. It's a fair question. I mean, hearing about brain glitches might sound a little alarming. So should you be worried the next time it happens? The answer for the vast, vast majority of us is a definite no. The truth is, déjà vu is a completely normal and totally harmless quirk of a healthy brain. Really, it's only considered a potential issue if it's happening all the time or is really distressing. I love this way of thinking about it. It's not a glitch in the matrix. In fact, some scientists see it as a sign of a healthy brain's fact-checking system working just right. It's your brain noticing a tiny little blip in its own process, a quick oops moment, and then just moving on. And hey, here's a little fun fact for you. You might notice this feeling pops up more when you're tired or stressed or when your brain is just processing a ton of new information, like when you're traveling. That's just your brain working overtime, which makes these little processing hiccups a bit more likely. So, the next time you get hit with that wave of eerie familiarity, don't freak out. Just take a second and appreciate the wild, fascinating complexity of your own mind. You can just smile and think, my brain just did a tiny cool glitch. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Now that you know it's probably just a little memory mix-up, how does that change the way you see the experience? Does it make it less mysterious? Or maybe even more interesting? Something to ponder.
And that's just one tiny big question. Imagine what's next, subscribe, and let's keep wondering.